There are a lot of improv. Is there a lot of room for, like,
Ryan's quite aggressive.
Is it?
Yeah, he's quite.
How so?
He's got a very short temper, hasn't he? Very short patience.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, get it right. So I found that quite intimidating.
I saw the first 35 minutes of Deadpool Wolverine this morning, and I genuinely loved it top to bottom. You all were great in it. I can't wait to see more of you both. Tom Wamsgams over here, okay?
Yeah.
First of all, having come out on top of Succession as Tom Wamsgams in a hostile work environment story,
Yeah.
did that prepare you to play Mr. Paradox, who wants to be a leader in a questionable work environment of the TVA?
I'm sure it did. Yeah. Work environment is the key word, isn't it? Yeah. He's like Mr. Paradox is, it is a version of sort of Waystar in the multiverse.
That's
you
what
could
I was...
argue. You know.
Tom walked so that...
Yeah, so that Mr. Paradox can fly or be banished to the void.
How were you introduced to Mr. Paradox?
By Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds over Zoom.
Okay.
They explained a little bit about it.
Very cool.
And I was like, sounds great. I'm in.
And
when do you want me? What can I wear?
What kind of way?
Yeah. How shall I sound?
And Emma, I have the same question about Cassandra Nova. How were you introduced to this Cassandra Nova character?
Sean Levy. He came to London and saw a play I was in, and we had dinner, and he sort of pitched it to me, and again I was like, sounds great, I'm in.
And so Cassandra Nova being the twin of Charles Xavier, I'm curious, does that make you go and say, hey, this is what Patrick Stewart did with Charles, this is what James McAvoy did with Charles, since we're twins, I should be aware or anything like that?
Like, not really. I went back and watched little bits of their performances because I was interested in how, when someone's powers are so telepathic, what that has looked like previously. But yeah, I don't know how much I actually ended up nodding to that in particular.
How does the telepathic power work? How did you kind of put your stamp on?
I describe it as sort of just like thinking about hard maths problems.
I like that.
Yeah.
In watching the first 35 minutes, I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I've seen everything up to date. But my friend sitting next to me this morning has not seen like Loki or some of the newer stuff, and he had a couple questions, but I was like, "Do you feel lost?" He said, "No, I totally get it. I
that's
just
good.
curious."
That's me, because I haven't
Same.
really been. Yeah, that's us.
That's it. So that was my question. I
We're
was
like
curious.
half-wits when it comes to the MCU.
And we managed fine. So
we were. Yeah.
So this is the part where you interview me and I answer all your Marvel questions.
So
For
to
real.
explain it, yeah.
So, but I'm curious because like Loki season 2 is one of my favorite Marvel projects, and I know not everybody who goes into this movie is going to have seen it, but there's clear, like your character especially, has clear ties to what happens in that story. So when you sign on for the role, did they kind of debrief you and say, hey, so this is like a thing that happens in a show that's not out yet while we're filming?
Not
or
really, no.
How does that all work? If at all?
It did.
Really?
Not at all.
It did a
No.
little
They didn't. I didn't have any kind of briefing like that.
That's
So I
interesting.
didn't. Yeah. So.
I mean, I'm sure, I always
Maybe
wondered about
should've,
that.
But I think it's okay. I mean, it's sort of you sort of can't play. I think it's sort of trust they would have dived in and said, "Oh, by the way, this doesn't make sense what you're doing
yeah,
because of your
you
own
feel
ignorance."
very
Yeah.
safe in Sean's hands. That if
Exactly.
you're doing something wrong, he'll definitely tell you.
Sure.
Which is great.
It also just seems like a set that was a ton of fun to work on from all the stuff Ryan and Hugh have been
Joyful.
sharing.
Yeah.
I've seen that you both have scenes with Ryan and Hugh at the same time. So I loved about just the environment where they show up in costumes, they're bringing that energy. Is there a lot of improv? Is there a lot of room for like... what
Ryan's
were the-
quite aggressive.
Is it?
Yeah, he's quite.
How so?
He's got a very short temper, hasn't he? Very short patience.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, get it right. So I found that quite intimidating. And and it's hard when people drink in the morning
Yeah,
as well.
very
that's
hard.
that's difficult.
It sets
It just
very
after
hard
11
tone.
o'clock, it's all kind of
Yeah.
They are.
They're the best people you'll
They're
ever
maybe
meet.
the nicest. I mean, it's sort of sickening. They're
I was going to
so
say, this is really
lovely.
Waystar. You really didn't leave Waystar.
Right? No. They're so big-hearted and so
Yeah.
kind and so funny and lovely.
Yeah, they're
Are
so...
they the nicest men in Hollywood?
I genuinely think so.
It seems like everybody gets along with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After having a good time on this, and we know there's Avengers movies around the corner, I have to ask, are you hoping to see your characters go on, maybe play a part in Avengers 5, Avengers Secret Wars? Are there X-Men or Avengers you hope to work with, maybe?
It's all, I think, as an actor, and this is not me swerving your question, it's like, it's such a funny, odd, precarious
Yeah.
job. It's like, whatever happens, happens, you know.
And it's also like right thing at the right time, I think.
Yeah.
Is it strange to suddenly be getting questions like that all the time? Because this doesn't happen on other projects. We're like, hey, who else do you want to work with from the franchise?
Yeah, well, it's a kind of a testament to how the scope of this universe. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's all. Well, thank you guys so much for the
Thank
time.
you.
I cannot wait to see the whole movie.
Oh, good.